Hello and welcome to the first Big Pond Game Arena weekly update for 2011. This week, a flashback to the top video game news stories of last year. In January 2010, 3D TV was being promoted as the emerging technology of the year, while Intel simplified its processor lineup with the release of a new core processor family.
Now with the i3, i5, i7, it's really made headway in terms of making it easier for people to make decisions.
February saw Microsoft abandon online gameplay for the original Xbox console, while closer to home, legal action led to a $1.5 million settlement in favour of Nintendo after a 17-year-old illegally copied and distributed Super Mario Bros. Wii a week before its release.
The individual actually purchased the game by mistake from a reputable retailer before the actual release date, which enabled him then to sort of make the upload onto the internet.
On a positive note, Australia's best Gran Turismo drivers went head-to-head in Melbourne for the region's GT Academy finals. In March, Australia's GT Academy champ, Daniel Holland, was eliminated on day 2 of the GT Academy Challenge at Silverstone Circuit in the UK.
In real life, you have limits, you can't go crazy. You have to, be conservative.
Also in March, silent cheers around the country as SA Attorney General Michael Atkinson resigned, reigniting hopes for the introduction of an R18+ classification for video games in Australia. At the end of 2010, Nintendo would announce that more than 3 million of its DS consoles had been sold in Australia, including the extra-large DSi XL, which hit stores in April. This was also a big month for events, with the FIFA Interactive World Cup Regional Finals in Sydney, and the Supernova Pop Culture Expo in Melbourne and Brisbane. In May, Halo developer Bungie delivered for fans with the Halo Reach multiplayer beta. While in hardware news, Nintendo dropped $100 off the price of the Wii console. June was big for hardware too, with Telstra launching the T-Box. Among its features, the ability to stream videos like the Weekly Update and the Benny and Richie Show direct to your TV. Microsoft also owned the month, unveiling Xbox Connect during a live TV broadcast that was beamed around the world. And speaking of TV, June was also the month that 3D TVs from Sony and Panasonic hit the market in Australia.
So you can go and see LCD 3D or Plasma 3D, and you can make a determination for yourself around which is better.
Midnight launches were a common event in 2010, and in July, thousands lined up across Australia for StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty. Nintendo was busy setting a world record that month, not for game sales, but for the most amount of hugs by a game mascot in 20 minutes. The suited-up Mario managed to establish the new record by hugging 172 fans at an EB game store in Melbourne. August was a big month for the weekly update, as we celebrated the 200th episode with shout-outs.
Happy 200th episode!
And of course there was cake too. Incidentally, this is now episode 217. In September, the Tokyo Game Show was easily the highlight of the month. However, in terms of game releases, Microsoft made a big impression as Halo Reach hit stores.
If you're a Halo fan and you know the fiction and such, you know what eventually happens, and this is just an attempt to follow some of the characters through the story to see how those events unfold.
Super Mario Bros. Celebrated its 25th anniversary in September. However, the celebrations continued in October, with Nintendo launching a website for fans to share their fave Mario moments. While on a more somber note, Chrome Studios in Brisbane closed their doors for good. It was back to midnight launch madness again in November, this time for the latest in the Call of Duty series. For Black Ops, it was definitely a case of take it home and play through the night.
Can't wait till tonight. 10 minutes, I'm gone.
Without the same fanfare, but equally as notable for the month, was the launch of the much anticipated Gran Turismo 5, and of course the Xbox Connect hardware. December was all about toys for Christmas, and while all of the major video game releases had already happened, EA came through with the Vietnam expansion pack for Battlefield Bad Company 2. In hardware, iPhone, iPad and iPod Touch owners were tempted by the newly released AR drone quadricopter. And yes, I bought one too. And that wraps up the year in gaming news for 2010. I'll be back with the latest next week, right here on Big Pond Game Arena. Oops.